Another morning was upon me. I was feeling pretty decent, minus the fact that some of my clothes were a little ratty. One of my toes had been shot off. I was gonna have to get around to making some new clothes here. My shirt, pretty ragtag. When I woke up, decided I was gonna have some food. Think about making a new shirt as well. Fortunately, I had a table, just perfect, doing some tailoring at, so I put it in my head to get that set up. Steven, still healing up. I had to feed him. One of my alpacas gave birth, twins. Just my luck. More mouths to feed. I was working on replacing all these wooden floors that were under my turbines, concrete, so it all wouldn't burn up on me. After a while of that, I decided to get my tailoring bench set up, and also planned a shirt. That was going to be important. Some of my traps required rebuilding at that point, so I had to get to that. Security being as important as it is around here. Also decided I'd better build some wood walls, at least make the preparations to do so, before I get some more critters popping up under the ground, causing me a big hassle. Then I slept, and when I woke I ate. Then I had to feed Steven. One more mouth to feed. Hopefully he'll be out of here soon. I worked on building those wooden walls. Cover up that ground where I know those critters are just waiting to pop up. There was also more traps to build on the other side of the home area. So I got to that. Nothing like welding up some traps. Makes for a good time for a fella. I'd gotten it into my head. I was going to see if there were any of them dirty old robots up inside that ancient creepy structure just to the north of me. So I was going to set up some walls, some traps. In the meantime though, a little bit of recreation was in order. Sat down to play some chess. Planned on doing some cleaning when I was done, which went pretty quick. Then I ran on out, built the first little section of my walls, trapping them potential robots. I didn't have a lot of block around, so I was just going to have to use what was present. While I was doing that, Steven was fully healed. As healed as he could be, the frail old fella. He got up, took off, made sure all the stuff in that room shut down, and built the rest of my walls. Try and trap any potential robots there may be about. I still left the door, so I had a way to get over there myself without stepping on the traps. And then I figured out where the traps are going to go. 5 of them should be enough, I hope. While that was going on, a bunch of corn fell out of the sky, which is pretty useful. I'd given up on cooking all this food. Turns out I don't mind eating raw food. While I was grabbing that corn, a rabbit showed up, decided he wanted to be my friend. I was running back with that corn, pretty happy at my good luck, for once. I went by that rabbit, told him to come on inside. He didn't know he was going to get turned into dinner at some point. But I guess what he doesn't know won't hurt him. I put all the corn away, I was off to bed. It's me and Hamlet. Another night passed by, as it does. In the morning, I had myself a little bit of corn. Raw food being just fine for me. And then I had to make some of those wooden walls. There was only one more little section to build. Any potential critters be locked under the ground again. Hauled a bunch of steel out. Started making those traps. I didn't hear anything weird going on in there, but that structure was old. Some spaceship chunks fell down out of the sky. For now, they're just gonna lay. Those things end up everywhere. Doesn't seem like you could stop them. Fortunately, they haven't hit me on the head yet. Planned out the last couple traps. Got a tree taken down. It was in the way. Then it was time to chill out for a bit. I didn't like being in the darkness, but didn't seem sensible to mess around with the light. After that, back to building traps, so that's what I did. And then a fella gets hungry, so I ate a little bit of pemmican, without a table, unfortunately. While coming back, a bunch of raiders showed up. One fella claiming to be my uncle. I don't know what it is, people on this planet. He certainly wasn't my uncle. No amount of him telling me that's going to convince me of that fact, or lack of a fact. So they decided to come get some business from me, but they didn't really make it through the traps. I was mad about this uncle situation. Once again, that got me sad, thinking about my family back on Earth. And for that, I was going to see if I could take these schmucks down. Sadly, I couldn't get any more of them than the ones that went down on my traps. And also, sadly, this fella claiming to be my uncle was one of them. Some of these people had some decent clothes. Being that mine was ratty, saved me a little bit of trouble. I was going to go ahead and strip them, see if they had anything nice on. Not that they're like to. Bunch of jerks. Also, they left me all kinds of weapons and some medicine. So I stripped a few of them. Got the stuff hauled back. Wasn't any nice shirts, though, sadly. Put all that stuff away, and I was off to bed, despite the fact that there was no security on the south side of my home here. When I woke up, cleaning was in order. What I wouldn't give for some kind of cleaning robot, some kind of help around here. I put on a flak jacket, one of those people had, and then it was going to be time to bury them all, which is going to take a little while. Planned on building a few extra graves, just for next time. I hauled bodies back and forth, which is rather unpleasant work. And I had some pemmican, much as I didn't feel like eating anything. I dug graves for a bit, and then I decided maybe I'd better put these people in those graves before I got too far ahead of myself. After they were all buried, all the new graves were made. It was time to rebuild traps, and sadly, I was getting pretty low on steel. So I built what traps I could, which is going to end up being most of them. Hamlet was walking over those traps. That made me a little bit worried. There was blood everywhere. I decided to chill out, take a little walk around. I didn't mind this flak jacket so much. It was kind of nice, despite the poor quality of it. Felt a little safer in it, with all the chaos that goes on. I built the last couple traps. Turns out I had just enough. Only a tiny little chunk of steel left. Then I made the last of the walls. Keep the insects, little dirty buggers, under the ground where they belong. And those floors to rip up. Did a little bit of that before sitting down for some food. And once again, I was off to bed. When I woke up, I started pulling up floors, thinking about them potential robots being so close to me. I decided I could probably handle them, despite the fact that one of my traps up there never got made. So I went up there, hid in my doorway, and started giving that wall the business with my rifle. And it didn't take too long before down it went. Turns out there was some of them freaky insect creatures in there, so I took off running, lest I get caught by them. They didn't decide to give chase, for which I was grateful, but I did need them to come out and step on some traps. So I had to go back. I had to open that door one more time. About that time, one of them crazy thrumbo creatures showed up. As I was shooting one of them insects, a little one snaked through the door, bit me in the keister. Didn't take much to kill it though. And the other ones were falling from the traps, but they were pretty big and pretty scary looking. Looked like all kinds of goodies inside there, plus a bunch of old sleep pods. Can't imagine someone's still alive in those after thousands of years. Not sure what to do about that. But those big freaks were chasing me, and I was running away. giving him the business, despite my little wound from that critter. One of the big ones gone down on a trap, which is fortunate. So I was shooting up the other ones pretty well. Not looking to take any grief from these buttheads. One of them's still pretty fast. I missed him, bounced off his little armor plating. He ended up getting inside my home area. He's going after one of my critters though. Poor Muffalo. So I was shooting him. I accidentally shot one of my alpacas a couple times. And then I had to tell Hamlet not to go outside and open the darn door. Wouldn't be the first time he let somebody in. I shot that big critter dead. The other one went down on my trap. Decided I better finish him off before he woke up. Thought about giving me some business. So down he went. And then it was time to tend myself. It looked like one of those critters was still alive up by the old building. I was gonna have to go destroy those hives before more of them showed up. And finish that one off before he jumped up and started getting feisty. I tended the alpaca I'd inadvertently shot. Turns out my aim could be a little better, I suppose. But at least I got the job done. My butt was hurting from where that little bug had bitten me. But it wasn't too bad. Certainly had worse since I've been around here. I ran on out with the rifle in hand, thinking about giving that other bug a taste of that medicine, but he had died on the way. Turns out there was some kind of crazy little robot in there. Reminded me a lot of a Roomba or something back on Earth about the time I left. So that was going to be pretty cool. My wishes come true. Turns out not everything on this planet has to be so horrible. So I was excited about that. Blowing up them hives, left some weird insect jelly stuff around. So I ate that, and it was pretty good. I felt good after eating it, so I was going to gather up the rest and have at it. Turns out I pretty much eat anything without complaint, as long as I don't get sick, which has happened too many times in all honesty. I was running back out to see about grabbing that robot, see what it would do for me. As excited as could be. For now, those caskets are getting left alone. Who knows what will come out of that. So I set up the robot, activated it. Lo and behold, it was a cleaning bot. It just run around cleaning everywhere. It was the best day ever. That's really going to free me up. Work on some other stuff. Quit wasting all my time cleaning. I decided I'd get busy quick on making all these floors. Although I was going to need steel to finish the job anyways. A robot's going around cleaning as it worked. One of them dirty pirates fell out of the sky. Based on the fact that those other jerks had showed up, claiming to be someone in my family, I decided I was going to let him lay. Some people you just can't help. I had to get some animal food together by then, so I harvested all the hay grass, and there was a lot of it. Maybe I'll get myself a hauling robot here at some point. That would be glorious as well. I was dreaming of that as I went to sleep, and when I got up, 4 a.m., right back to planting hay grass again. I might have too much, but I might not have enough, so we'll see how this goes with this many critters about. Filled up the stores that I had set aside for it. I had myself some insect jelly, pretty tasty, and I decided to allow myself a few beers since I've been working so hard and to celebrate my new cleaning robot. Just a fantastic day. My corn was ready by then, so I harvested some of that, planted hay grass. Some travelers were passing by at that point. I decided I better get my corn put away so it didn't get lifted. Oh no, sticky fingered travelers coming over here. I was running out to do some mining when a wild man ran in, savage as could be. Didn't seem like he wanted to talk, so I was gonna let him be for now. Maybe I'd bring him back to civilization, as I'd done in the past. But he seemed happy enough. I mined for a little bit, then I brought the steel in, had some corn. My little cleaning robot is doing a heck of a job. The place had never been so clean. 24-hour attention. I ran out to do a little more mining now that I didn't have to focus on cleaning so much. And I hauled in what I could of the steel I'd gotten so far. Put it away and then I was off to bed. Floors are going to need to be finished yet before some plants start growing up blocking my turbines. But at the minute, everything was okay. So when I woke up, I was right back to mining. There was a whole bunch to do. It was going to be a busy day. Sadly though, fella gets hungry, has to run on inside. Which I guess is better than eating without a table. That's one of the worst things that can happen to a man. The robot was doing great. It claimed it was only 2 days old. Who knows how long it'd been in there. Surprised it still worked. Must have never been activated, I guess. So I mined, and I hauled stuff. That wild man certainly wasn't too good at harvesting. He's wasting all kinds of berries like I used to, just mashing them up in his hands when he tried to pull them in. Thought about helping him out. In the end, I decided I'd rather play chess. He'll figure it out. He's been surviving on his own long enough. Doesn't need my help, probably. So I played chess for a bit. All these critters were really in need of some attention as well. I had to milk a muffalo, and I was off to bed. A trader showed up while I was sleeping, and I decided when I woke up, I'd go give him a ring, see what he had. Sure enough, he had all kinds of good stuff. He wanted to buy some stuff from me too. There were loads of them little robots he had. I bought a bunch of steel off him, much as he had, rather than do the mining. Thought about buying some plasteel. It was expensive. I didn't have a lot. I wasn't really sure I need a lot. I also decided, you know what? I'm going to get me one of them hauler robots he's offering. That's going to be fantastic. Thing came down out of the sky. It looked like some kind of drone from back on Earth. I used to fly me one of them little things around before they got banned. So I decided to set that guy up, see what he could do. I also decided I didn't need to be mining all that steel since I just bought a ton of it. I'll test that robot out on that pile of steel and all the weird wool, whatnot I was getting off all these critters around here. Still thinking about getting rid of that rabbit. He's a cute little fella, but once again, just another mouth to feed. My robot was working on charging itself up. It hadn't done any work for me yet. I was starting to think I got a bad one, which would really chap my hide. We'll see what happens though. I had myself a beer, chilled out. Once again, had to spend some serious time with the critters. So much wool around this joint. They were slowly eating up all the food they had, so I replenished that. Hamlet needed some attention as well. He had stopped hauling. I turned on that robot. It went right to work. Turns out I just hadn't activated it. He was hauling steel. Didn't have a high capacity for hauling, but he sure was fast and dedicated. Didn't look like he's gonna get tired. I was working with the baby alpaca. A real pleasant feeling settled over me. Pretty sure it's because all the stupid work I didn't like doing is getting done by these robots now. This might be the best day I've had since I landed on this rock. I worked with the muffalo. There was corn that had to be pulled up, replanted, so I worked on that as well. I also decided Better get to these floors. I could just leave the corn laying around and see if the robot would pick it up. Or maybe Hamlet would get it. Hopefully the critters didn't eat it. Decided I was going to make myself a shirt at that point. So I got to work on that. Since it had been really bothering me, the state of the current shirt I had. I put the new one on. And decided from now on, I'm not going to wear any junky clothes anymore. If they were tattered up or had been worn by a dead person, I just wasn't going to do it. After putting on my new shirt, I was off to bed. That robot's working like a dog, man. I was well impressed. Cleaning robot was all over the place too. Seemed to be missing at the moment. But I'm sure he'd come around. So much to do. Found myself trying to train up that rabbit. Then I decided, why the heck am I wasting my time? Finally put him out of my misery. Hamlet started pigging out on him right away. And I was pulling up floors and putting in floors like nobody's business. I had tons of steel. I had tons of time. Didn't have to do any hauling. Didn't have to do any cleaning. These floors went in super fast. After this, I wouldn't have to worry about fire anymore. And that was pretty awesome. I'd spent a fair amount of my silver on it. But I had so much, didn't really make a difference. In between working on floors, I'd periodically take a little break. Try and throw some horseshoes. These stupid animals running all around. Still thinking about that moron claiming to be my uncle. He didn't even have my uncle's name right. So, floors, critters. I had to rebuild the steel trap. One of those dumb insects had stepped on. And I was still thinking about them caskets up there, what might be in them, or who might be in them. Didn't seem like it'd be worthwhile. They may be hostile. Who knows what they'd be equipped with. Could be trouble. Thought about ripping that wall down up there, but I didn't. I might need it if hostiles pop out of those caskets. So I worked on floors, milked Muffalo. I was off to bed. The robots sure were doing a good job. They were all about buzzing around, and they didn't seem to make a mess like the animals did. When I woke up, I was back to working on my concrete. Feeling pretty good, not having to worry about fire. And of course, training the critters never ends. I was gonna have to sell some of these guys somewhere, or just butcher them up. I still had a ton of dead Yorkies laying around I could get the meat off of. So the floors progressed, as you'd expect. But it was such a fast job, I rather enjoyed it. And as soon as I drop a bunch of stuff, that hauling robot would show up, pick it all up. It was pretty cool. Can't speak highly enough of them little dudes. The floors were about done. I was happy to have finished something. And there were some walls, doors, whatnot, needed repairing. Decided to make some more blocks, so I had a little bit of extra. It didn't make sense. In case something got destroyed, I was certainly going to need them. Maybe just 100 backup would be in order. And while doing that, a whole bunch of apples plopped down out of the sky. So that was pretty great. I had to run on out and get them. Critters would be happy. Still thinking about them caskets. I could also disassemble that old building while I was at it. When I got back, I just sat in the dark, the silence, chilling out. It was nice to take a minute for myself. Robots doing all the work. After that I went to bed. Let these robots work. When I got up, it was time to train critters again. I'd ran out of critter beds. They'd had so many babies. If the Muffalos start reproducing, it's going to be a real hassle. At least they're more useful though. I was training babies all the time. Animals sleeping all over the place. Overflowed my little barn, but I couldn't really make it any bigger. Nor did I want to. I was making blocks. Some visitors are showing up. Some people come to say hi. They'd heard I had a nice little home over here. I was living on my own. So they thought they'd check it out. Right as I was getting back to research, finally, after all these menial tasks are done, I ran on out to trade with a person who had some stuff to trade. She fell right in the dirt, went to sleep. Not sure what's going on with her, but there she laid, snoozing away with a pistol in her hand. I decided to just research. Once in a while getting up, see about training some of these critters. There are so many of them around. Quite a time-consuming job. Well, it was nice to see that robot working. Did feel good. That person was still sleeping. She pretty much slept all day. I got back to research. They got up to leave. I decided to head on out. See about doing some trading. See if I could get rid of some junk that I didn't need. There's always leather and junky clothes around. Even weapons I don't want. So I sold some clothes. Stuff I was never going to wear again. Bought some medicine. I was running a little low on medicine. Although I'd found some super fancy stuff inside that ancient structure. Not sure how good it's going to be after years and years of sitting there. But regardless, I had some food. And I was off to bed. While sleeping, the sky got dark. And the ash started falling out of it. Temperature seemed to be dropping too. I was playing some chess. A rainy thunderstorm was raging as well. Had a little bit of corn. Milked the buffalo. Of course, there's always critters to train around here, so I had to work with one of them baby alpacas. My drone was flying around like mad, putting stuff where it belongs. And I was working with more critters before I sat down to do some research. Figured out blowback operation at that point. Decided to figure out how to make a gun turret. It's going to be the next most important thing if I was going to stay alive. These people come. Another alpaca got pregnant at that point. Tell you what, man. I had to stop feeding these things so well or something. Some kind of aphrodisiac in the food. I had some corn. Then I decided to get out there, work with the alpacas. Never-ending project that was. After that, I was back to research. I was making really good progress. While doing so, I couldn't stop thinking about them caskets. People that might be locked up inside. Thousands of years old, man. Blowing my mind. I was baiting on heading over there, but for the minute, I was going to hold off. I researched for a while, and then I was off to bed. And another day was over. Lightning striking and rain coming down. Ash falling out of the sky and a big sludgy mess everywhere. And those caskets were calling my name. Just a little bit of time, I was going to have to do something about that. Worried about that idiot making me think of my uncle. Also what I was going to do about this missing toe. For now, that was a day.